first time I met Srila Prabhupada was in 1970 in the airport. We came for Rath Yatra. I was in San Francisco Temple. Srila Prabhupada came from Los Angeles, and when he came down from the plane, he came into our view when he came through the doors. At least a good 100 people were there to greet him. I was Bhakta Greg, just in the crowd, and I saw him. Everyone bowed. It was like seeing the sun come out. Such a thing you never saw. And then he came walking, and Vishnu Jan Prabhu was there, and he was playing the drum and singing. So he bowed like that, and Prabhupada would pat him on the back as he walked by. And then he came into the crowd. People were moving because he wasn't going in the direction where he was being led. He walked off into the crowd. And then he came directly to me. Yes. And then he put his arms around me and he hugged me. Yes. I never met him. But when we looked at each other, we knew each other. This wasn't the first meeting, you know. And everyone was asking me, do you know him? Do you know him? And I said, no, I don't remember. I'm a new devotee. Only 3 months, 4 months in the temple. But that was the first time. So I had requested him in the letter that personally I don't think I can ever follow all these rules. Although at the time I was following, but I was being very sincere, and therefore I have to ask one request, that there are 3 types I have read. There's the Nitya Baddha, and there's the what is it, there's the Siddha, what is that, the Vidhi, Bhakti, the one who follows achieves perfection. There's Nitya Baddha and Nitya Siddha, you know, and then there's Kripa Siddha. So I mentioned that I cannot ever follow all these rules, so how I will ever become, so I request you make me a Kripa Siddha. And then he said, all right, Guru Kripa, we'll give you. So he can do as he likes. He is independent.
During the nectar?
He never talked to me. He only asked me questions I could not answer. Things like, why does the grass grow in the cracks on the sidewalk? Or walking along the beach in Madras, some brass statue across the street, a man on a horse. Who is that man on the horse? How would I know? But everything made me feel like a fool. And that is the purpose of Guru. Murkya. One should be a murkya in front of the Guru. He should always be a fool. As soon as he thinks, now I become friendly with the Guru, now I know a little bit more, then you're finished. People sometimes, they think that they've caught up with Srila Prabhupada. They're finished. Eternally you will never catch up. Now I will go some other place and then I will get some higher instruction. No. He will instruct you according to your surrender, according to what you are ready. But if you think for 1 second Guru doesn't know something, then you are finished. So Srila Prabhupada ingrained that in me very strongly. He never was never asking me or associating with me like that, only making me feel like a fool. And I was sit in the room when they did those dialectic spiritualism. I was always in the room, and everyone would come in the afternoon. I would sneak in the room, just listen, every day. You know, I would sit there and I would hear, watch the champion of the world spar with people and defeat them all and present Krishna. It was a great entertainment, and it was life. It was the life. But then I began to think how I will get into the inner circle, how I can get in the inner circle with His divine grace. And then I understood I must go do something to get His attention. I cannot just, I was going daily for preaching and we were working, but I had to do something more. Because it wasn't that Srila Prabhupada just decided to make friends with somebody he liked the way they looked or they dressed or the way they put their tilak on. No, it was their service attitude. So then we went. I went out to South India and opened to Bangalore, and Yashodananda was with me, and we did many things. Then he began to write. Then we learned Sanskrit, we learned mantras. Nobody knew mantras then. We only had blue Bhagavad-gita without Sanskrit, but we had learned many of the slokas. So in this way, as one has to get one has to become, has the guru to attract his attention. He instructed to me that I should collect this money because I had shown that I had a capacity to do that and an ability, and that was a big mistake on my part, I think. I did not know that. I thought I would collect something and I could go on my way, but Srila Prabhupada saw that I could do that, and no, there was no, that was, then he told me, you go, because they will not give me money. The other devotees will not give, the leaders. He had the projects, and he used to tell us, if I had 18 good men, I could take over the world. But people weren't surrendered. They did not fully surrender to whatever he would say. Once he said there was two types of devotees, those that come to me and ask me, I want to serve Krishna this way. So Srila Prabhupada, yes, you do like that. And then the second one, the first class one, that one's second class. First class is, I am a fool, I don't know anything, tell me. And Guru knows. They doubted that he knew. No, they doubt what the Prabhupada knew. He knew how to do everything. He is super soul. Yasya Devi Parabhaktir Yata Devi Tata Guru. This is our teaching. Yasya Devi, one who has this unflinching faith in God and in Guru. In God we trust, but more we trust in Guru. This is our position. And if you come to that position, then he reveals Krishna to you. Only you must be sincere and make effort. So Srila Prabhupada, he's ordered me, you do. So I argued with him daily in Vrindavan. Nicely, I objected. Srila Prabhupada, they won't help, the temple presidents don't want me to come in America. They come around their temples, they shun us. The brahmacharis all want to go with us because we're fired up, and it's natural to travel and see the world instead of sit in one place. And the temple presidents don't want the sannyasis coming, and we're living in the van. Like this time I told him when we collected a lot of money. Srila Prabhupada said, yes, that was such good, you should go do it again. I said, Srila Prabhupada, we are collecting this money 18 hours a day we're working. Srila Prabhupada, 18 hours a day. Our process is 24 hours. So there's no question of getting around it. But this is in that, finally he told me, anasrita karma phalam karyam karotiya sasanyasi, 6th chapter, Bhagavad-gita, verse 1. A sannyas is he who works as he's obligated, and he's not attached to the result. So actually Vaishnava sannyasi is different, because a Vaishnava generally takes sannyas out of bhava, or love for Krishna. There's nothing to renounce. We already know it is all illusion, it is all the Lord's play. So what we are renouncing? We are only renouncing our illusion. So what is sannyas? But out of ecstasy it is taken for service. But if you're not mature like we were not, but out of to expand this movement, Srila Prabhupada gave many people this position, even if it lasted 6 months or a year, to help other conditioned souls, to do something for some time. That is our good and their good. So he gave instruction like this, to get this money because these temples should be there. And that was the order. And they are still there. Therefore it is a divine, and the collection was successful. It was not done with ego or trying to get on the chart sheet of Rameshwar. It was there for the satisfaction of his divine grace. We did not have our names read in the temple every morning. It was hard, 7 days a week. All the devotees that assisted in that are eternally benefited. But this is our bhakti yoga process. That Guru is everything. As you get more into this science of bhakti, which Srila Prabhupada came to give. He did not come here to make a personality cult. He came to teach the science of how to see God, not that he will see and we will not see. You know how he used to say? People used to say, are you seeing Krishna? So the Prabhupada said, so if I am, what good is it doing you? Are you seeing? And I'm eating and you are not eating, what good it is doing you watching me eating? So we have to eat, and he came to give us. And if we do not get it, we are the big loser. We are faithless. If our faith increases to such an extent, we will see Krishna immediately. So that is what he has given us. And as we go, this world is such a big place. But gradually it comes to the devotee that there's only, your vision is this. Only the lotus feet of the Guru is left. Prabhupada's feet is left. Nothing there. So in this age you have three things that are of any value. The holy name of the Lord, service of the Vaishnava, and the remnants of the Vaishnava's food. These things are all golden. So Srila Prabhupada has taught us this science, how to get it, how to be spiritually intelligent, to get Krishna. And that is what he is teaching, and that is what he showed us personally. You know, many people see many different things, but we see he's given that science for us. Once I gave him $108,000. I came to Vrindavan, and the way I gave the money is I deposited it in an account and showed him the receipt. So I showed him the receipt, and they were building Krishna Balaram, and he was walking the construction site. So I'd given the money, and then I'd gone, taken a bath, and I immediately came back, and he was wandering the construction site, so I went up to him, and immediately he yelled at me, "Take that dhoti off." It was the wrong color. "Never let me see you again." Yeah, immediately chastising me. Many, many occasions he would chastise me about this or that. And sometimes the hardest thing in management, and those that know, who have this Prabhupada Association knew, that you would have to take the hit for other people. Sometimes there would be some few peas on the floor in the prasadam room, and he's walking the temple, and he would see that, and then you would get, "Why is that there?" And what can I do? You know, once Srila Prabhupada told us, he ordered us in Hawaii 24-hour kirtan. So I organized it, and we didn't have much of a crew. There wasn't that many devotees, and some of them couldn't hit a key if they, you know, if it was, you know, a Sunday, but they, we did it. We started it. So that evening, his room is just above the temple room. This devotee was singing, and it was like the cats out in the alley. It was terrible. So Srila Prabhupada, he said, "Who is that?" I said, "It's 24-hour kirtan." "What 24-hour kirtan?" I said, "Srila Prabhupada, you ordered 24-hour kirtan." He said, "I didn't order any 24-hour kirtan." So we stopped it. Yeah, he played that he didn't know anything about it. So he would have to take that. You know, you can many. This is the process of training. And especially if you get angry, you did in a big position, you would get big credit. And if you made a blunder, you made a big mistake. Once I took we were having so much trouble with police, and I took deities out of Japan. Srila Prabhupada said that he would not, he would close Mayapur before he closed Japan. And he practically didn't talk to me for 3 months. You know, it was like that really disturbed. I went and rectified the whole thing, but yes, he took many chastisements. That was his mercy. You know, and he would chastise you for no reason. One time he came and they sent the servant, 12:30 in the night, to where I was sleeping in Hawaii. And they woke me and said, "Srila Prabhupada wants to talk with you." So I went in there, sat down, 12:30, and he excused the servant. We were sitting alone. I said, "Yes, Srila Prabhupada." And personally, I thought I was doing good. I was sleeping 5 hours a day, getting up, serving, organizing, doing my job. So what are you doing? I said, "I'm taking rest." "Why?" "Because I'm tired." "Why are you tired?" I said, I am sitting here translating books. I've only had 1.5 hours. That is enough. Why you cannot sit with me and translate? I said, Srila Prabhupada, you're a Paramahamsa. I'm a beginner. Why you're not a Paramahamsa? Then I became very frustrated, and then I began to get angry, Personally, why am I getting this? What did I do? Usually you need a reason to get yelled at. And so I said, and then I just said, I'm just a nonsense. He said, why are you a nonsense? And I was trapped. My face turned flush and blue practically, and then I saw that I was angry, and then I also saw what I will do. Now I've become angry at Prabhupada, what I can do. He's a person, you're a person. People thought it was so easy to be around His Divine Grace. I laugh, I scoff. Many people, they think, oh, Prabhupada, you kept 5 feet from him, And then he got me in the corner. He had me like that, and then nothing to do. I left, I just started to cry. That's all. Just started to cry. I sat there. I was defeated. And then he hugged me, told me one story, and sent me to bed like a kid. He told me a story of Krishna, like from the Krishna book. I said, now go take rest. So this is his way to break you, to set the pattern for the future, And according to, if you could take it, what is your relationship? I can tell you many stories. Even one time I stood up we had to give some money to one devotee to go to Taiwan. And I didn't like that devotee because he would not cooperate. So I refused. No, Prabhupada, I won't give him any money. And Srila Prabhupada said, I will give him. And I said, Prabhupada, you're wasting your money on this man. And we began discussing. And finally I got so angry I stood up. And I said, I quit. I quit. I quit. Srila Prabhupada said, I will also quit. Now sit down. So then after everything cooled down, everybody laughed. Well, I'm sorry I got all excited. And he said, that is good. You're enthusiastic. This is, So it was not like it is all a bowl of cherries, And to be around His Divine Grace was not easy. It was easy, but not easy. Because you're dealing with an acharya, and he had to set standard. Although he was very grateful for what service you did, but you could not use that. In the beginning, he used to thank me and say how nice I was doing in the collections. But later on, I put the money, 100,000, 200. He never even said a word. Just put it aside. Not a thank you or anything. People want, you hear the women or something, if you're married or something, oh, you never say you love me, you never say, oh, to go there. Would you ever give me $200,000 a day or a month? I will say something nice, but this is service. And we took it as service. There was no expectation of, we were waiting for the mercy. Because bhakti is shraddha. This nishta must come. Without nishta, you cannot move. And it must be as solid as the rock of Gibraltar, as the Himalayan mountain. It must be there. And Krishna is testing. You will have one fly-by-night sannyasi come by with a little potency, and it doesn't even have a speck next to His Divine Grace. And his teaching is not exactly the same. And someone, oh, I will get it cheap over there. They don't want to pay the price. They don't understand the price. They don't have this rasa with His Divine Grace. It was maybe never there in a deep way. But those that have experienced that, even though they also, we have to get the teachings and act. But some people there, it is not easy thing. Not easy thing. To understand Guru Tattva is very difficult subject matter. It is practically, when you understand Guru Tattva, Krishna is guaranteed. And then you will move. But people can be switched. Kanishtas can be switched from this guru to that. They can be switched in their faith. It is not solid. So Srila Prabhupada he has given all the thing, and 1,000 times over if you hear his tape, he's saying the same thing, because we need to hear it. I mentioned today to someone, nowhere you will see any guru in the world getting Guru Puja daily. It is only once a year they take it on their appearance day. And nowhere you see samsara in Mangal Artik, and then Srila Prabhupada is Sri Guru Charana Padma an hour later, So much worship of the Guru is stressed. Why is that? Because he has said that we Westerners are very headstrong. We have to first catch how important the Guru's mercy is. And by satisfying the Guru, Yasha Prasada, Bhagavad Prasada, then we can satisfy Krishna. So that is why he is given like this. Then we can think of other things. We took a group of devotees and we went to Vishakhapatnam. And Srila Prabhupada stayed at the Krishna Chaitanya Mission, which was the temple of Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj. So we stayed there 7 days. And Anand Prabhu was working in that mission. Puri Maharaj gave Anand Prabhu to Srila Prabhupada. You know, you've heard the stories of Anand Prabhu. He is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta's disciple. He's a brahmachari. He could do the work of 10 men. He would cook 10 preps for 200 people with 1 or 2 assistants. Later, he came in Vrindavan. All the devotees from Vrindavan know him. He worked when the Krishna Balaram temple was being built. So we stayed there and he cooked the feast, 2 feasts a day. And Srila Prabhupada used to walk up and down as we were eating and say, eat more, eat more. And he would be so satisfied. Chaturvidasri Bhagavat Prasada, Svadana Triptan, satisfaction. He was so satisfied to see us taking this. And as a neophyte as I was, I was overeating and I had to eat. So I would eat, and come lunchtime, I had no hunger, 0, but I would eat again. And at nighttime, no, it was still in my stomach, and again, because it was so good. And after the 3rd day, then I threw up everything, finally, and went to sleep for about 8 hours in the afternoon, you know. But Srila Prabhupada used to take this, and that was a good incident. Many more. In Govardhan Hill, we went to Govardhan once, and on the Parikram, the only time he went there. So we were in the Govardhan, and we had brought a big basket of puris and some sabji for taking lunch. So we sat on the veranda, and many dogs came around, and the devotees were eating. So someone threw a rock at the dog, and Srila Prabhupada said, no, this is Govardhan, everyone eats. And Srila Prabhupada took the puris from his plate and threw them to the dogs. He said, feed the dogs now. All the dogs must eat, and they will be satisfied. Always mini prasadam. Prasadam is, everyone got prasadam. No one went away without some prasadam. Anybody visit, give him some prasadam, give him some prasadam. Srila Prabhupada, would come in his room. Sometime he would be, especially, this was when I would be out. I would come back, I'd been out serving, and I came back to Vrindavan or something. I'd come in his room, and then sometimes he would feed me with his hand. Here, he would take this rasgula and take this, and I would sit and eat, and he would share his meal with me. This happened a few times. He would share his meal with me, and like that, how was everything, and we would eat together. With his hand, he would give me. So, this is how one can leave Guru. They don't know. Maybe some people think they will get someplace. So one should be humble. Trinade Pishuni Shena. Humility will bring you the mercies of the Lord. Otherwise, you have not come to this position yet to understand. You know, and then you will be worthy of getting some mercy. I would write Srila Prabhupada sometimes and complain. These Japanese are not taking it. It is very difficult here. It was a great austerity, no Sunday feast. For everybody's out on the road. We used to go chant in the street 4 hours a day, 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. And the only people who would ever question us was a tourist looking for directions or some half-cracked Japanese trying to practice his English. Nobody came with any question. So Srila Prabhupada, he informed us that we should continue because there was such benefit. They were giving some money. They were doing some service. Just like in Hong Kong. I was in Hong Kong and I had to close the center because no one came. Then later Srila Prabhupada asked me what happened. I told him. He said, no, you go back and open one office and go and sit and chant on your beads sometimes. So what do we know the effect of the holy name, the pure name? Just as Chernobyl was leaking out this toxic fumes and it spread all over Europe. That is a gross matter substance. This is the most divine, subtle substance. It will go everywhere and very far distance, and the effect will be there on the consciousness. So this is why we have to hear correctly from Srila Prabhupada and accept that, because that is, he can understand the potency of the name. We have not experienced that, just slightly, but not in full. Srila Prabhupada was your friend. Some people say, there is a word friendly, there is the word guru. So the guru is friendly with us. And he is also our friend, but he is also not our friend in the sense that we are equals. That will never be, but he is our best friend because he is our well-wisher. And he is friendly with us at times, he is stern with us at times. But the thing that I saw in different cases is I saw, I don't know if you would count these in the 26 qualities, but things that impressed me right from the beginning was his way he took time to make you satisfied. He always would go out of his way. I would ask him to chant some mantra in the tape, he would do. And I saw when George Harrison came to see him in Vrindavan, Srila Prabhupada did not flatter him at all. He was not enamored. He told him, yes, you're very famous, but what is your guarantee in the next life? You must accept a spiritual master and learn the science. And afterwards I told him, Srila Prabhupada, I've increased my faith so much today, I've seen the way you've dealt with these people. Because we grew up admiring the Beatles, and here this famous, world-famous person has come in the room, and Srila Prabhupada did not cater to him or try to get something from him. And of all the things, because it is a quick question and I have no time, if you ask me tomorrow, maybe I can think about this. But off the top is Srila Prabhupada, his devotion and friendship with his disciples. He never backstabbed people. He never, if he said something in confidence to us, you know, like one time he was speaking about one devotee, something about the management. And that devotee was informed by one of the persons in the room. And Srila Prabhupada became very disturbed. He said, that was for your ears, not for his ears. This is for our understanding. But he would never, he was always, if something happened, he immediately would protect you, and especially me. Everybody was criticizing me, and he always defended me, all the time. He would say, oh, the cow is giving good milk, it has to take the kicks, this or that. So many things. People would write letters and to him criticizing the way I did something, but he always defended. That is the friend like that. And as I go through life, I find it very difficult to find another person that will stick with you like that. I used to take the service. I used to use my position when I would get around Srila Prabhupada, that when he would wake up from his afternoon nap, he always would have a coconut. Because usually I was in the tropical place. I was in Hawaii, or I was in Fiji, and I used to not let the servant bring it. That was my time. And I used to take that in. And he would wake up, and when he would be sitting there, and he would ring the bell. Now we would bring the drink, whether it was some juice or something he would take. He would be intoxicated from this samadhi he had been in. But resting was samadhi. And every single time he would start in about the conditioned souls. He would quote Prahlad or something. Like one day he asked me, so who is coming this afternoon? I said, one man was supposed to come at 4 o'clock, but it's 4:15. Ah, who will come? You know, AC, DC, they are all, he saw some signs that morning. But always he was feeling this, how his mind was constantly absorbed, how I will help these conditioned souls. That is his total compassion on the conditioned souls. He felt great stress at seeing them in stress. So that was why he is his divine grace. That was his mood. There was nothing there. Nothing there. He ever tried to take some personal service or credit.
Je anilo prema